Hi, this is Jason Fielder with the Daily Forex Report for October 5th. Taking a look here at the US Japanese yen pair. We have a range that I'm looking at of 106.58, and on the lower side 104.76. Now, as far as some support, look for support to come into this market around 104.50. And as far as resistance, look for 105.50 for this particular pair. This pair did close down on Friday. It is moving sideways still with a bias to the downside. Now let's take a look at the Euro USD pair. This pair moved down on Friday, created somewhat of a doji bar, and I'm not sure if this means that we're going to retrace or if we're going to go ahead and continue lower, but there is a possibility that we'll have a quick pullback in this pair. Look for the range to be between 140.69 on the high side, on the low side 136.99. Look for resistance to come in around 138.80. and some support to come in around the 13700 area for this particular pair. Now, switching to the pound US dollar pair, this pair moved higher. It did not make a new low. If you notice, we did not make a new low, and we closed up, so we could have a little bit of a pullback. You know, we're hitting the same area that we had some previous support in the market, right along this point around the 1.7585 area. So we could see it oscillate back and forth between here for a little bit before it continues lower. I do believe it will continue lower, but we will just have to wait to see how long that actually is before it occurs. Now, looking at the range, I'm expecting the range to be between 177.64 on the high side, on the low side 174.94. So look for that in this pair. Now, as far as resistance goes, look for some resistance to come in the market at 178.40, and on the lower sides look for support around 175.50 area. Switching over to the US Swiss, this pair moved down, did make a new low, and did not make a new high, which is somewhat telling. We could have a pullback in this pair as well. Now, I'm looking for the range to be between 114.49 on the high side, on the low side 112.50. Look for support to come into this market around the 1200 level. And as far as resistance, we'll probably see resistance around 1400. Now, as far as trades, looking for trades, I wanted to show y'all the Australian US dollar pair. This pair has been moving lower, as you can see from the chart. But if you notice, we have had a inside bar on Friday's session. So we are I'm looking for this pair to move lower in Monday's session. Now, we had the pair moved higher on Friday, but pulled back before the close. Did not make a new low or new high. It was an inside bar. So I'm looking for a break of this session's low, Thursday's low, to go short. If that occurs, go ahead and look for it. It showed some weakness, and we should see that happen during Monday's session. Let's take a look and see if we can find any targets here. May have to go out to the weekly time frame. I would suggest going to the weekly time frame and looking for some, there we go, some possible targets. If you notice this low here, this may be a potential target. I'm not sure what that actually is. Let's see if we can find out real quick. That low is at 0.7676. So we are actually a little bit higher than that by roughly 60 pips or so. So that would be a great target for you to look for when that breaks out on Monday to the downside. Well, that about wraps up our charts. As far as news announcements go for Monday, we have the Bank of Japan releasing their rate decision. The consensus is they're going to hold at 0.5 or 0.50%. As they have for a good while. I don't anticipate that changing at all. The Canadian dollar has their Purchasing Managers Index for September being released, and that's going to be at 10 a.m. The consensus is that it's dropped by 0.5. Probably won't move the market on that one. The pound has their gross domestic product estimate for September being released at 7:01 p.m. That's Eastern Time. No consensus given. And the Australian Reserve Bank has their rate decision being released, and that's being released at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday, and that the consensus is that they're moving from 7% down to 6.5% on that move. So definitely take a look at that. If it changes or if it's greater than what the market expects, we could see it move the market substantially, especially with this continued move down to the downside in the Australian US dollar pair. You may want to also look at the Australian yen pair for this particular trade. Well, until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.